Now, one of the things that's left to do is the lacing for the ribs that stabilize the ribs or keep them stiff. And it takes some cordage, and they recommend here some cotton herringbone tape, 3/8 by 480. Well, I ordered some of that, and then I got to looking on YouTube videos, and some of the guys were using wing lacing thread and probably some other things, but this is what Piper recommended here. So we put some friction tape here around this rib, and that'd be the outboard wing tank bay rib there on this strut that goes up and down here. Start at the top, go down underneath the next rib, back up, back down, back up, so on in a crosshatch pattern. And you start at the bottom and go up. Now that didn't have anything on this wing like that when I took the fabric off of it, but there was a vestige of the old stuff tied onto the butt rib down there, but nothing else had anything on it. Now I'm going to wrap this friction tape right here as high as I can get it around this little strut right here, and down the bottom of it. And there goes my friction tape running for the wild. Well, here's the herringbone fabric. Well, I'm going to roll a bunch of this so that I can cut it off. I don't have to deal with this whole big roll. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with all the rest of this stuff. So now I got to figure out whether that goes down. Okay, that goes down. Not too tight or I'll bend the rib. And you start out with it on this center post of this rib here, and then it goes down to the rear of the center post of the next rib, like this. It flops around, and then it goes up forward of the center post of the next rib. And then back down to the rear of the center post of the next rib, and so on continuously ad nauseum. Same thing on this one. I've been doing it wrong here. Go under the rib and then over and back under, and that way it only goes one time instead of twice like I was doing. Maybe I'll go ahead and undo that and do them all back up again. Yep. All right, and I did the first one right. The rest of them I did wrong. I went over the top first and then under, and that means you got to go back over the top again. It makes it double. So by going under, and you go over the top, come back under, and that means there's only one wrap of this bite showing on top of the wing instead of two. Now we'll go behind this next strut, over the top of that bottom rib cap strip, And then there we go. All right, I thought maybe this one went down here and tied onto this top rib, wingtip rib with friction tape, but it doesn't. It just does the same way. It just comes like this, wraps around here, and then wraps around the bottom, and then back to the top of this one. So this is what it says to do, is to put tape on this butt rib right here on this inboard strut and tie the bias tape onto that, and then come from it and go to these nose ribs right here. You can see how floppy those nose ribs are. They don't have any structure behind them. The full ribs, they're not as bad. They got a little bit of flop to them, but they're not as bad as these. Now this one is a half rib. It's a little bit floppy, but not as bad as these just plain nose ribs. So I put a little bit of friction tape on this strut right here. I already had some on it because I put tape on it so I can tape down these wires for my wiring harness for the nav light and for the landing lights. But I didn't tape those down yet because I wanted to make sure I got these in the right position first. So I put tape on this one. That's the anchor point. Then it comes out to midpoint on this strut here, not to the nose but to the strut right here. This one is a partial rib, and it's got this whole thing in there, this whole brace in there, so I can't tape it, but I just put a little tape over the front edge of it so it doesn't chafe on there, the bias tape. And I've got the next nose rib done like that. This one here is a full rib, so it moves just a little bit, and then a nose rib. So I'll just keep working on my way all the way down the line doing this until I get to the end. Actually, I have to stop at the landing light, and then I'll start on the other side of the landing light and go out to the tip rib. Well, I'm at the landing light bay here now, and this rib is a full rib right here, so I can go into this inner strut and use this as a tie-off point for the bias tape. If I can get my tape around there, because the bulkhead is there for the landing light. And I got fat short fingers. that don't like to work in these tight areas. Well, I'm at the landing light bay here now, and this rib is a full rib right here, so I can go into this inner strut and use this as a tie-off point for the bias tape. If I can get my tape around there, because the bulkhead is there for the landing light. And I got fat, short fingers. Don't like to work in these tight areas. Now we got the same thing right here, but this one's going to be just about impossible to get in there. I'll see what I can do, because that bulkhead on this inboard rib and the bulkhead for the landing light assembly has a stub rib, a nose rib there that is bolted into, but on this side is bolted directly to the rib here. So we're trying to find the anchor point and get that taped up in there is going to be a not so much fun. All right, that ain't going to work. There, we got it. Almost got it. The disadvantage to this good friction tape is the adhesive on it is really strong. I don't have to go out to this outboard one here, the one next to the outboard rib, because that wingtip bow is going to take care of it. Well, I can come in here to this one for my tie-off point. Okay, that should do that. Alright, now I'm going to tie this off. What do I do with, oh, here's the scissors. I want to unwind this. Give me plenty this time to go down here to my wingtip, or my landing light bay. Alright, now this is important here. I take the square and square these ribs up. Okay, like that. Alright, that'll work. As a square, if I put it down flat on the top, then it just hits in one spot on here, and if I go down, then this thing slides inside that cap strip and it's going to tip it over the wrong way. Oh. Suppose it doesn't matter if I have a twist in that, nobody's going to see it till the next person that does this, and I should probably be gone by then, so I won't be embarrassed. I'm just going to run this down here loosely. Okay, I got all the way down there, and I didn't have any left over, but I got all the way down there to that landing light bay and tied it off just loosely there. Okay. gun. Alright, that one's pretty close right there. Landing or fuel tank straps in the way on that one. Yeah, too much. So these can be adjusted after I get this tightened up. Just slide in the tape there a little bit, in the bias tape a little bit, or these ribs are still adjustable. I can slide them back and forth in this. They're not tied off tight. I mean, they're tight, the string's tight, tape's tight, but it'll slide around. So like here on this one, I can slide it just a little bit too much. And even these, that one's good, that one's pretty good, that one's good, that one needs quite a bit of movement on it. Yeah, let's see how that worked. A little bit too much. There we go, just like that. That's good. That much is good. Do the end down here past the landing light now. Okay. All right, that all looks pretty good, I think. Now I'll just go ahead and tape up that wiring harness, and we'll be finished with that much of it.